Welcome, movers and shakers. I am your host and realtor, Janitha N. Moore. Today, our guest is Aaron J. Smith, author of 10 Steps to a New Level of Living. Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me, Janitha. It's a pleasure to be here.
I'm so excited about your new book and to have you here. I have some scripted questions. The first question is, what inspired you to write this book?
I think the thing that inspired me the most to write 10 Steps to a New Level of Living is, even as a person coming up, I felt like it's important to have a clear pathway to travel in life. And as a result of traveling this pathway, sometimes we travel this pathway alone and we don't have firm strategy and principles to go by to help us understand the gaps in our lives, understand the times in which we don't achieve the things that we achieve. So I think 10 Steps to a New Level of Living is basically a guide to anybody who wants to go to the next level, anybody who wants to be better in their life. And it provides practical information that people can delve into and that can just help them in their day-to-day lives. So I think the inspiration behind that is, at the age of 10 also, I knew that God had placed something in me to do great. And I just wanted to help people, essentially.
I find it inspiring because, as you know, I'm a realtor, and we need a lot of motivation in this industry because it is a high level of rejection, and you need to constantly stay motivated to go on and meet your goals and beyond. So I was wondering, as I enjoy the book, I was wondering how you felt about what's unique about this book.
I think the most unique thing about 10 Steps to a New Level of Living is the practicality of it. I think sometimes we read books and it creates a fictional story, but 10 Steps to a New Level of Living can be relatable to your real life. People need tools. People need things that they can apply in their day-to-day lives. And what I tried to do with this book, and what makes it unique, is I'm a real person, a regular person who works a regular job. I'm a father, right? I'm a husband. I'm an uncle. I'm just a regular person. And a lot of the times, even as an African-American male, I faced many different obstacles in my life. And I wanted to have strategies myself, and nobody gave me strategies. Like, I think we stand on the shoulders of giants. And I think I wish that somebody left a pathway for me to follow. My father did the best he could, but he worked 16 hours a day. So he couldn't really spend the time that he needed to spend with me. And I wanted to also leave a legacy for my children. And I think everybody has a book inside of them. Everybody has a story inside of them. And what makes my book different is my unique selling point. It's what's unique about me, and it's the world through my eyes. And I think that I have a particular group of people that I'm meant to reach and meant to inspire, using the gift that God has given me. And I think 10 Steps to a New Level of Living is a product of that, and for that, it's very unique.
Absolutely. Yeah. A practical tool that everybody can use and it ministers to. I like that. And step 6 of the 10 steps, you talk about how your mindset changed from feeling like you could do anything to becoming reluctant and fearful at some point. How did you get back to a positive, peaceful presence of mind?
So I think when the fall began for me is when I started to face many pressures in life. When I became a father of 4, when I became a husband, when I became a leader on my job, and I believed that I can achieve greatness. And I think sometimes people have a fear when they start to achieve things, because what it does is it makes you accountable to somebody, right? As a father, I was accountable to my children. As a husband, I was accountable to my wife. As a leader, I'm accountable to my staff. So as I became more accountable, this fear kind of came over me because of the stresses of the position, right? And all of us have stresses that we don't share. And as I began to have those stresses, I remember myself, and it's in the book, I was sitting on the balcony, and I was just thinking about life, and I became very depressed because of the pressures. I wanted to sustain greatness. And because people think that greatness is dependent upon them and their efforts, they face all kind of stresses that they don't even need to face. Like, for example, like, you're a realtor. You go out and you buy houses. There's many different things out of your control.
Correct.
So sometimes you try to take on things that are out of your control, and that creates stress.
It does.
Right? So my mind is basically, it was overwhelmed with the things that created stress for me that I couldn't control. And the way I got back to a positive place is I started to relinquish things that I couldn't control. And I'll just read verbatim for you out of chapter 6, a quote that I used in the beginning of this book of chapter 6 that changed my life, and I can share it with anybody and it can probably change their life too. So in 10 steps, I'll go to chapter 6 really quick, and I'll show you the beginning of the first chapter, and you talked about it, your mind. So I'll read the first quote in the introduction. It says, even though you see the car moving, it doesn't mean it has a strong enough engine to finish the race. So what I mean by that is you're running in life. Have you stopped and assessed what you need to accomplish what you want to accomplish? So I'm moving, I'm thinking I'm productive, but all along, I'm running in this race without taking the time to really believe and know what I need to attack things. And I think sometimes we take on things mentally without first even knowing if we have the strength to deal with them. And then what I did is I took a deep breath, I put my mind into perspective, and then what I did is I pulled out a quote that says, it all begins and ends in your mind. What you give your power to has power over you if you allow it. So I realized when I took that deep breath that I was giving power and energy to things that I should not have been giving power and energy to. That was an epiphany for me.
Was it a feeling of defeat, or was it just feeling overwhelmed? Because
I think it was a little bit of both.
Okay.
I think in situations I felt defeated. For example, I just moved to Georgia, right? And I'm not making nearly as much money as I made when I lived in Maryland.
Okay.
And the things that my family need that I may not have the money for per se at that particular time, which made me feel defeated.
Okay.
Right, but when I realized the thing that they wanted, we didn't really need anyway, that's the assessment portion. You see what I'm saying? So, so for example, right now, I want to travel more, right? That's pretty much out of my control for the moment.
Right.
But if I go back and create a budget and strategy, then I'll be able to accomplish that thing. So taking control of your mind, not giving power to the fact that I really want to travel right now, relinquish that, don't let it take control over me, use that energy, redistribute it, and create a strategy, then that'll help me gain a clear mental pathway in order to achieve that goal.
That's big.
So I'll be less overwhelmed and more underwhelmed and more thankful of where I gotta go.
That is so key because in the industry, it is a dependent process. You can feel out of control, which can then lend itself to some feelings of defeat if you can't control it. You know, and so you're right. You have to have a strong mindset, a positive mindset, and sometimes you need a tool to keep you on task, to remain positive. So I found that chapter or that step very helpful.
Awesome.
In step 8, you ask the reader the $1 million question. Have you found your gift and your purpose? Is using your gift just about making an impact and rewards, in your opinion?
I think using your gift is so much deeper than making an impact. It's so much deeper than the reward. Using your gift is what you were born with, right? And if I think about going into a industry or a market, think about when you first went into real estate. Did you believe that you had a gift to do real estate?
I felt I had the tenacity.
Right. So
grit.
So let's put that in perspective. You had the grit and you had the tenacity. But what's your gift? Your gift is who you are. Your gift is your smile. Your gift is your personality. Real estate don't make you, you make real estate. So it's not just about making an impact, it's about showing the real estate industry that you have something to make it better. So what I mean is you're not going to do real estate the same way other people are going to do real estate. Does that make you a failure?
It makes me unique.
There you go. And your gift is what makes you unique.
Yes,
you see what I'm saying? So what I do is I show people that, because we have so many people that forsake their gift based off what other people say.
All the time.
Right.
Because they are so focused on the system. Real estate is about a system, and people approach and attack that system to be a top producer, devaluing their uniqueness.
But your gift is what allows you to gain what you need to gain in the market, because you need to know your unique way of doing real estate. And what this does is it points you back to the gift, connecting you to the creator, because then he reveals to you what his perfect will is for you. And when he reveals that, it opens your mind up to not listening to people, but being in tune with yourself enough to know this is my strong points. And then what you'll do is you'll know your gift, and you'll surround other people around you with other gifts that complement your gift. Because I believe we do everything in community.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
And you need to be surrounded by a group of people. You can't be successful on your own because you have too many moving parts. You have loan officers, you have clients, you have inspectors. All of those people, knowing your gift, you will attract those people with other gifts that can complement your business.
Yes, it is a very dependent process. It is a lot of moving parts. So you definitely have to be around the right people to get your client to a successful end.
Definitely.
And sometimes it takes motivation and going back to your plan and working your plan as you have in your practical book, where you identify your gifts, write them down, study them, and check out where you can have opportunities to tweak.
And then you can even reflect. A lot of times we don't reflect on where we went wrong, right? So I give you a scripture, I give you a prayer, because I think we should believe in a higher power. Even if you're not Christian, I think we believe in something outside of ourselves. And I think this can be for believers and non-believers, because it's all about positive energy, it's all about inspiration. And that's, I think, deeper than motivation. I think inspiration is to breathe life into you and to encourage you no matter what the situation is, no matter how many houses you sell, no matter how many times you fail. You need to know that you are more than a conqueror, right? And knowing that gives you the tenacity, gives you the grit, and it gives you the hope to know that though you may fail now, you said it best. Today, every morning you wake up, today is going to be the day that I'm closer to my goal. So that's what 10 Steps to a New Level of Living will help you do.
And that inspiration can apply in any industry, anytime, anywhere. My next question is, what advice would you give to those that are stuck or unmotivated about taking their life to a new level?
What I would tell somebody who's unmotivated or feel unmotivated, and this may sound crazy, just accept it.
It might sound crazy.
Accept your unmotivation. Accept that you're stuck. Because I think sometimes we're in denial. And we were stuck and we don't know that we're stuck. But if you believe that you're stuck, your availability, your very ability to believe that you're stuck creates something inside of you of clarity to know where you gotta go. It's a form of acceptance, right? When you accept where you are, you accept the reality of what you have fallen to or what you're dealing with, it creates an opportunity for you to heal. A lot of people don't accept their situation. So to the person out there that may listen to this podcast later, if you feel stuck in your current situation, just accept it. I think a lot of the times this world is so superficial that it doesn't give you real feedback. And I think we were having a conversation about this before, about how to assess who we are, where we are, what situation we're in, and can we trust the information that tells us about ourselves, right? And I think this book will help you self-reflect by yourself, right? I use the Bible, right, which is my trusted resource, not the opinions of men. And I take what the Bible says, I use a quote, I use the reflecting questions that ask you about yourself, and then it provides you a sense of clarity. Not that somebody told you, but something that you had time to analyze.
Right.
When you accept the fact that you're stuck, then you begin to heal. Then you begin to move, because when you're at the bottom, there's nowhere to go but up. And the only way you know that you can go up is know that in your current situation, it's not your final destination. A lot of people believe where they are, they get comfortable, and they believe where they are is where they're always going to be. That's a lie from the enemy.
And in this industry, it's a numbers game.
Yeah.
It's a numbers game. If you're not hitting your numbers, it can become unmotivating. And of course, you have accountability coaches that help you stay on task. But sometimes you're just not producing. So, a good strategy is to go back and look for opportunities, or write down, as you said, what you've done. Take a moment, breathe, and hit the reset. And then, focus on continuing in your forward motion. So I appreciate that. We need that inspiration.
Definitely.
We do, because when it's all about numbers, it's crunch. It can get real tenacious and strenuous.
I want to add something too. I said this morning when I woke up to myself, I was walking. I walk every morning, and it's dark. There's nothing out there. And I said to myself, I was thinking, because we all think, right? Even when we're in a bad situation, even when things are good, even when we're up against stress and numbers.
You're always in your head.
I said, I love the process. Though I feel like I'm sick, though the weather is changing, though I don't feel like getting up, I love the process. I am me. Everything that I'm going through now is a part of me.
Okay.
My failures, my successes, everything that I go through. And I think if a person can speak from a place of authenticity, that will provide a level of freedom for them, and a level of courage for them that will help them to overcome. Yeah. So I wanted to add that, because I think a lot of people try to be who people want them to be instead of being who they were created to be.
It's a lot of push for that. It's a lot of push for that. Absolutely. Just accept where you are, and things will reveal themselves, or unravel, or produce. Give us some tips on how to manage the unintended consequences of taking steps to a new level.
When you say
a new level of living.
A new level, I got you. So when you say unintended consequences, are you talking about life?
So I'm talking about, since you have a book that is practical and planning and being strategic, sometimes that focus has unintended consequences.
Gotcha.
An example might be, you're so focused on your plan that your family members may feel like they don't have enough time and attention, or an unintended consequence may be you're just not balanced in all of who you are, because working and producing and earning money is just one part of your life, and sometimes there's some consequences when you are totally focused on being strategic and planning for success.
Yes. So I think there's a myth that we only can do one thing at a time. I think that myth sometimes puts us in a trap, right? And a great friend once told me that we can't get caught up in that myth, because we can do multiple things. For example, I'm a father when I'm at home, right? I'm a husband when I'm at home. When I'm at work, I'm a leader. When I'm not at home or work and I'm out with friends, I'm a friend. So we all are juggling the unintended consequences. What I would just tell a person is, I would tell them to, one, start with balance. What is your true north? Right? What is your ultimate goal of what you're trying to accomplish? And when you know what your true north is, what you do each day determines the product of what you want each day. So I would encourage people to write things down. Habakkuk 2:2 says, write the vision, make it plain. For he, though it tarry, wait. He that readeth will run, who hears it. And what that's basically saying, and I'm paraphrasing this verse, is it's basically saying this. It's saying, each day brings a new opportunity to figure out a level of living in yourself that you never knew the day before. And along with that, the practical part is we have a methodology in here that we call quick wins. So for example, a lot of people struggle because of all the pressures, emotions overtake them, emotions of guilt, emotions of not being productive for that day. So I have something that's called a quick win. And what that does is when you start to go left in your thinking, think negative, I encourage people to have a quick win. That is putting a positive perspective on their current situation and being able to transition from that place of negativity to a place of positivity. For example, if you were supposed to have a meeting at a certain time, and you woke up late,
right,
and your meeting was off.
Ooh.
The initial way I would have you to think, instead of saying to yourself, man, I'm late, I blew it, just say, hey, though I'm late, I needed the extra rest. I got the extra rest. Let me take a deep breath. Let me pick up the phone and let me call the person and tell them, hey, I'm behind schedule. Can we push it back a little later?
Ooh, my listeners made, ooh.
What you just did, instead of getting up frantic, believing that, oh, I blew it, you create a level of anxiety that you don't need. So you get up, you rush to the appointment, you get into an accident, you total your car, things get worse.
Right.
But if you take a deep breath, understand that this encounter is not the end of your business and not the end of your life. It changes the game in perspective, right? Because when you believe that things are not dependent on you, it changes your level of thinking. So quick wins, one, it'll help you change your perspective. Oh, I'm late. Take a deep breath. Pick up the phone. You're redistributing your energy. Hey, such and such, I am late. I apologize that I'm late. I completely own it. Can we push it back? Well, no, we can't push it. Okay, what other option do we have? I can meet you tomorrow. Thank you so much. I sincerely apologize. And then you redevelop your strategy. And then you continue in your positive thinking and you realize what you did wrong. Maybe the night before you went up too late. You stayed up too late. So guess what you're going to do tonight? You're going to be in the bed on time.
Yeah.
Quick wins help you redistribute your energy. You only have so much energy for the day. You only have so much spirit for the day. And you got to continue to have quick wins. What quick wins do is it changes your habit of thinking. What we need most of the time when we're transitioning in life, when we're going to a new level of living, is we need new thinking, new speaking, new habits. Habits repeated creates a new character. A level of living is not about a temporary gain, but it's about a lifestyle change. Let me tell you. So if we think about the origin of a habit or the origin of your character, it starts with your mind. Then it goes to your words. Then your words create habits. And as you create those habits, you create a character. I'm starting at the root. Because if I don't start at the root, we can't bear the fruit. And bearing the fruit is being the person that God wants you to be, being the person that your family wants you to be, being successful, not allowing the numbers to drive you, but driving the numbers so you can be successful.
And so, a very good point to ask this question, or very good timing, rather, to ask this question, which is, why do strategy matter?
Strategy matters because you have to have a roadmap. If you don't have a roadmap, you'll be chaotic. You can do two things. You can have the strategy made for you, or you can make the strategy work for you. And what I'm talking about, if you research all the successful people in the world, a lot of them have a game plan. And 10 Steps to New Level Living helps you jumpstart a game plan, right? You have to know and have some direction in your life. The Bible also says, without vision, people perish, right? So vision under that, that's a big statement. Without vision, people perish. But you have to have the knowledge. 10 Steps to a New Level of Living provides you the knowledge for the vision. So if the vision is here, 10 Steps to the New Level of Living, it starts with belief, then forgiveness, then take a moment, then your mind gets started, your position, right, your gift, then new opportunities. Strategy is the knowledge you need to be set free. And I would encourage anybody, if you're in a position right now and you're not writing things down, and you don't have a game plan, you're setting yourself up to fail. And having a game plan is very simple. It's just having a direction on where you're going. And that strategy helps you determine a roadmap. So, for example, if today you wrote out what you did today, tomorrow you won't repeat the same mistakes, right?
I hope not.
But what if you didn't write it down?
Right.
You don't know what mistakes you're going to make.
Correct. Avoid. Correct. Okay, I got you.
So we all need gaps in life. Truly successful people know the gaps, and they avoid the same gaps because it's about growth.
Yeah, and so writing it down or having a vision board, same thing?
I think writing it down, a vision board is more of a picture of what you see.
Okay.
Writing it down is how you get to what you see.
Okay.
I want to know how I get there.
Business plan.
Business plan,
Life
game plan, roadmap, steps.
Write it down.
You write it down, right? Because look, a vision is like that picture. But the person who made that picture had a plan on how they want to make it. You see what I'm saying? All artists sketch before they paint. Your writing it is your sketch before you paint. And it's not about just yourself at this point. You're building wealth for your legacy. Right? I don't want people to be selfish and just build for them. I wrote this book for my children, my children's children. And they can follow this roadmap for years to come. You see what I'm saying? Because it's proven strategy that their father created. And now I have a legacy. Right? I opened the door to people to believe in the impossible.
A roadmap.
Yes, ma'am.
So I know that you like to be unscripted, unrehearsed, and real. So I got one question that you don't know about, and it is the final question.
Okay.
What motivates you to pursue your dreams and happiness in your life?
I think what motivates me every day, I'll tell you a story. I kissed my daughter yesterday. My wife came home. I got home late yesterday. My wife came home, and my family was sleeping, so I didn't get to see my children yesterday. And I kissed my daughter while she was sleeping, and she woke up this morning and she told my wife, "Daddy didn't come home." And I said, "Wow." She recognized. She's starting to wake up, and she's starting to be conscious of the world around her. So though I came home, unbeknownst to her, when she woke up this morning, she didn't believe what she didn't see. So to her, Dad ain't come home because I ain't see his car. I ain't see the physical part of him. I think what motivates me is my daughter believing in what she didn't see. But when you believe in what you don't see, that is what is possible. What I'm saying is what motivates me is my children having a belief that they can achieve even the things that they haven't seen yet, even the things that they haven't manifested. So every day I wake up, I'm trying to create a pathway for them to follow. And what brings me my true joy and happiness, the very core of my company of 3-Piece Motivation is about a selfless methodology, creating an opportunity for people to be better than they can ever be. So my joy and happiness comes from creating a legacy for my children, creating a legacy for the people around me, and it's based off a authentic connection with my Creator. He is the center of my joy. And it's a quote that says, "True joy from within is not dictated by the opinions of men." So I can care less what's going on around me in this world. I just know who I am. I know what has been laid out for me, and I just follow that path every day to the best of my ability.
All right. Well, thank you so much for your source of inspiration and motivation, and definitely the strategy that is outlined in 10 Steps to a New Living. I think it is applicable to everyone in all industries. If you want to take yourself to a new level. Thank you, Aaron. I appreciate your time.
Thank you so much, Janita. Thank you for this opportunity.
You're welcome.